First and foremost, I concern myself as a photographer. Next, as explorer, and then eventually expedition leader. I lead a small team of people to some parts of the world, usually intimate, between 2 to 6 people, to take pictures of the wild giant. Sense of place, going on top of the mast of the sailboat in Antarctica, as cold as minus 30 or 35, climbing on top, but the relationship between the sailboat to the iceberg in Antarctica. The sense of place being on the high Arctic with a polar bear is not just about the polar bear, but where is it in all this big desert of ice, if you want to call it? Or the same opportunity get very, very close to the polar bear. And very close, that I mean as close as almost I am here to the second or the third row. Understanding about animal and learning about the animal, what their safety zone or comfort zone, and what their actually tools, a weapon, and how they survive in the wilderness. For polar bear is a sense of smell. So if the wind blows away from the polar bear, I can get close. But I need to be aware that the wind can change and be able to actually evacuate very, very fast. Sense of place. Everybody that goes to Antarctica or to sub-Antarctica, to the South Georgia Island, we love those penguins. But everybody go to take a picture for very, very close and miss the whole picture. 250,000 king penguin on South Georgia Island. But then you come very, very close into the king penguin. So I was holding with myself a 600mm lens with a tripod just for the picture you saw before, but also the 100 or the 50mm to have this very close-up of the king penguin. Black and white. It become very in right now to photograph, to do a lot of black and white photography. But it's not just black and white. Also a new trend in underwater photography and also in photography, how to use studio light underwater. Rather than to use only flash underwater that you don't see what the light does, you can bring with you also permanent light, floodlight, and use it underwater. And then you can measure how much light you want on the front, on the back of the subject, and how then you frame. In this case, I had 2 different lights, and the photographer underwater knows the solar light from Light and Motion. Use one stronger light in the back, lesser light in the front, and be able to bring the head of the croc with the eye and the teeth up front, and to create this monumental and against the white background on the sand. Who knows what is that? What? Leopard seal. And where do they live? Only in Antarctica. And 70% of their diet is actually plankton. Only 30% is penguin. And look at these teeth. All the story that you see next is about the teeth. And the story that I'm going to share next photographically is about staying with the animal and how you tell a story with images. Diving, we start diving in Antarctica only in the past 10 or 12 years. When anybody else comes to their territory, anybody else meaning another leopard seals, they come and confront them. When we come, what happened? When they look on the glass of the camera, what they see? They see themselves, reflection of themselves. And what they do, they try to really confront it to make these other leopard seals run away. And they're going back to do what they do best, and this hunting of the penguins. The way they hunt the penguin, they usually come and catch them on the rocks. They drown them first. And only after they drown them, then they start feeding on them. And this picture took the first place last year in the competition of the APA. And then they go out and hold it by their teeth, just like here, but firmly and gently. Because you've never seen any animal feed on feathers, nor that we can eat feathers. So how the leopard seals really feed on a penguin? They shake the animal, or before they do that, they come in the front of the camera and hold it and tell him, that is mine. And now, they hold it and they shake it violently from left to right, so the skin peeled off, and that's what remains. So photographer, either you are war photographer, street photographer, fashion photographer, whatever will be, need to stay for as long as possible and after everything is over, because something happened in the end that is probably better than anything else before that. If you want to see more of my work, I will wave goodbye to you, and I'll have some question after this. But to see more of my work, you can go to the website called biganimals.com. I do topside and underwater photography, and we have time for questions.